go up. I think I can do it from here. I'm trying to get this pushed as far to the right side as I can to give me just a little bit of space here to bend these wires. I'm stretched out a little overhead more than I'd like, but I'm going to try to work with it. Hoping that clip don't fall. My shoulder doesn't really allow me to put my arm over my head like that without it hurting a little bit.
You need me to hand you something?
What I'm hoping is that the screw will stay on there. And on these screws, because I'm screwing into the roof, this is my roof. You don't want to go thicker than the board or you'll have leaks. So these are real short screws. They're not holding much weight. They don't have to be big. They're real tiny wood screws. I think they're less than a ½ inch or right near a ½ inch.
Luckily, we kept some of those.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta move over to this side. Yeah, you might notice I'm doing this left-handed. I'm not completely ambidextrous on everything I do, but for martial arts I'm ambidextrous because you have to train both sides, your left side and your right side of your body. So things that I'm normally right-handed on, I can usually do left-handed. I can't write left-handed, but I also have to fire my weapon left-handed because of my left eye is stronger than my right eye. So I fire left-handed. So I'm used to doing things with my left hand. I mean, it feels awkward, but the agility is fine. And that's good. I definitely think that was a good idea, painting these before we put them up. That was Teresa's idea, and I was like, yeah, why didn't I think of that? But that's why you work as a team. And so now I got to go out and get that other piece. And then I'll bend this wire up and under. I think I'll just go up and under right here with that other piece. I got the brackets, I don't have the screws, so I'll have to step off of here.
Do you need me to get something?
I don't know if the racetrack's even dry yet. I can get it. I'll just step out. It's not real hard to do. My legs are just long enough to get over this board. And I still have to tiptoe it. Whew. Okay, so I'm feeding the wire into this last segment of the racetrack, or the raceway, or wherever you're from, how they call it. It's gonna have to feed all the way in. I can't quite reach it from here. Maybe if I can push it against something. I'm gonna have to step over to finish getting it. It's stiff enough to kind of hold itself right there. And I have to go do that side first. Which means coming off of this ladder and going onto the other ladder. Don't get in a hurry, slow and easy. I'm not 20 years old anymore. All right, and Teresa will just hand me the tools.
Even a 20-year-old needs to be slow and steady. They just bounce back faster if they get hurt.
Right. I don't mind if we don't have any more ladder projects.
I don't mind that either, because it causes me so much anxiety. You would think I'm the one up there.
Okay. You can start handing me tools. I think I can do it from right here.
What would you like to start with?
I guess you can start with, I just need one bracket and 2 screws. You can hand me 1 screw at a time.
Okay.
1 bracket, 1 screw. And then I'll get the drill last. I'll let you turn your camera around.
Bracket.
Screw. Okay, as I'm screwing these, because this bracket is right on the outside edge of this board, I'm trying to toenail them in. Toenailing is kind of a carpenter's term. It just means that you're trying to angle the screw toward the center of the wood to get more bite. Now the back one's going to be harder because I have to toenail it in toward me, which means I have to be on the other side of the screw, in which I can't even see the hole over there. But I think I got it. Feels like I got it. I can't see nothing. Yes. Okay.
Success.
Go ahead and hand you this. The wires are a little bit long, but that's always what you want. You don't want them too short, so a little too long is okay. And because this is already up and there's a lot of resistance, I'm not going to try to pull the wires back out. It just would be a mess. So I'll probably just coil them. We're only talking about a couple inches anyway. I'll just coil them up. Now, if you were doing some outside wiring, you want to make sure that your wire nuts are facing, the open face is down. And the reason you would do that is just so it doesn't collect moisture or collect rain or wet. But some people too take electric tape and tape them off, and that's a good idea. But we're indoors, we don't have to really worry about that. Before I wire this though, I'm going to go back over to the other side and get that side up. I'm just checking my feet and my boards, make sure nothing's moved. I'll bring this up. I actually need I might have to do this a little different way. Let me look. I'm only going to be able to get one screw in the board over here because I need to pull the wire, push the wire back through, but I don't know if that's going to work really well either. So I think what I'm going to do, can you hand me the pliers over there? What I'm going to try to do is a little creative domestic engineering and bend this bracket so that it'll fit on 45.
What you got to do, modifications. Nothing's perfect.
Let's see if I can't bend this up. Trying to figure out if it's even going to hold anything. It almost doesn't even hold anything. Let me see. I think it'll do better here, even if I only get one screw in it. Yeah, I think it'll do better over here. I'd like to have this ladder turned, but we're going to try to do it like this. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, if I bend this, if it'll bend, I can get another screw in right there. I don't think that one got it. No, it did. There we go. That screw's a little short. So a little longer screw here, but I'm not screwing into the ceiling. I'm screwing into the larger board here. So this should work all right. As long as it'll stay on my thing. There we go. Yep, we got a good bite on that. So that's holding.
Sometimes you just need a long screw.
Sometimes you do. All right, I'm done over here.
Yay! This is one of those, do not try this at home. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this right here.
Try this
What
at
he's
home.
standing on. There is no way you could get me to do that. When I was younger, I would do things like that, but it seems the older I get, the more sketchy and the balance thing, and yeah, nope. Maybe you just value life more, or you know how long it takes to bounce back from getting hurt.
I think I can get the longer board from downstairs better.
All
This one I can pull up through the hole.
Aches and pains of getting older.
Not everything hurts.
You try to limit it, because when you're a kid, you do a lot of dumb things and you don't even think about later on how you're going to feel that one, but you do. I know when you get older and you see kids playing around doing stuff, you're just over there wincing, because you know they're going to be paying for that later.
This is a nice solid board that that actually is part of the loft that we took apart downstairs. That's where this came from.
That's some good wood. It comes in handy.
Yeah, it's good to have extra good thick heavy boards around that are not too long for little projects.
Yeah.
And the other board I can take, because it's longer, I can take it off the end over there.
You don't want to put flimsy boards down because there'd be too much bounce.
Yep. So that worked out pretty well. So now all I got to do, and I'm going to take a minute, take a little break, and then I need to get a flashlight because I'm going to have to climb a little higher up on that ladder because I have to wire it from between the boards. So I have to get up above the boards to wire it. And so I'm going to have to be all the way to the top of that ladder.
You can be all in,
So yeah.
but now you got to take your union break.
I'll take my union break, collect my thoughts, and in the meantime take some of this stuff back downstairs. I won't be able to finish this wiring up today, but I need to resource my garage a little better and see if I got something that'll work, at least even in a temporary fashion.
I think we should go to one of those Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, I bet they got
stores.
some cool home stuff you can use.
Yeah, you'll probably love it as much time as you like spending in Lowe's.
I've never been to one, so I'm looking forward
Well, I've
to
never
it.
been to one either, but I know I like thrift stores, but this, I think, would be the thrift store that you would love.
I think so. Found a headlamp. It's come out really nice.
It had a couple leftovers from when I used to deliver mail.
You delivered in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, that doesn't happen at the post office, does it?
It sure does.
That would be unsafe.
True story.
Okay, so all I'm doing here, there's not much to see because it's down between the boards, but I had to get way up at the top of the ladder. And we took a few minutes to look for a headlamp because I'm, having two hands. I like having one arm over these boards too in case something slips I can catch myself. But there's just 3 wires here, so I've got plenty of wire. I got the wire nuts in my pocket, so I'll take them out one at a time. I'm doing the ground wire first. The wires are just a little bit long, like maybe 3 inches too long, maybe 2 inches too long. So I got to kind of buckle them up and bend them in such a way that, remember that transmitter's up here too. So you have to have room for everything here. And when I'm wiring these, the other end of the wires are not connected to anything. So you always want to make sure your power is off when you're dealing with electricity. Usually common sense, but nowadays, what is common sense? I'm just glad I can get both hands between these boards. It would have been hard. Okay, I got one wire connected. The wires on this transmitter are really, really tiny. So even the wires that I have on here are probably bigger than what I needed. So I'm doing my white wire, my neutral wire right now. And I've got them pointing. The stiffer wire, the wire that I ran over here, that's a solid wire. So I'm able to bend that and it'll keep its position. Now I'm working on the hot wire, the black wire. The wires that came on the fan are really small and dainty, and it's braided wire or stranded wire. And so when you're wire nutting stranded wire with solid wire, sometimes the stranded wire wants to slip out. Which my black wire just did, it slipped out. I'm not a big fan of the braided wire. It's probably less expensive to make, that's why they do it. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I'm checking on my white wire. I think we're good here. And all my wires are sitting in a position that there's plenty of space. If you hand me the camera, I can probably show it. Just hand it to me on the stick. Hand me the whole stick.
Okay.
Okay, so I just wanted to kind of show you what I got going on here. Okay. If I can get it out of the shadows. Alright, so here's my neutral wire, and I pulled it off to the side facing up. Here's my hot wire in the middle, and you want to make sure there's plenty of space between here and then my ground wires down there. So really the two important wires to keep away from other metal are your hot and your neutral. And they feel pretty good. The stranded wire going in there feels pretty good. It's tight. And here's the receiver. And the instructions said the receiver's to be face up, so it's face up. I don't think I really need to attach it. It's all sitting on this block. And I think we're good to go. So now all I got to do is I can get down off of this ladder. And all my work now is over on the other side, on the other end of the wire. So, all right. Coming down because my cat muscles are hurt.
Graceful like a swan.
Done that a few times. Alright, so this part's all done. I just need to find a wire to do that other piece there, right over here if you'll follow me. This wire here. I've already shown this wire is a little bit short. But I did paint the other raceway, and so I'll run this wire through the raceway, but it's too short to even go through the raceway, so I gotta find some more wire first before I can do anything with this. But it's mostly installed, and then we'll do this little piece here, and then I'll show that, and that'll be a wrap. I'm glad to be off the ladder.
Yes.
Nice to be grounded. Okay, continuing with this ceiling fan installation, went out to the garage and I found an electrical connection box, so that's good. I had an extra one of these with the cover. And what I'm doing is I'm putting this together to get it ready to take upstairs, along with this wire that I've measured and pre-cut and stripped the ends, and we're going to do a junction between the existing wire that's up there and get rid of that extension cord extension that was a temporary use so we could use the fan, and put in this permanent wiring, and then we'll attach the junction box to the rafter, and we'll be putting all this together. These little screw things here go on the end, and then on the back side they come with these little plugs, so this little plug will go on the back, And then I'll have to pre-drill the 2 holes. You can see the mounting holes. I'll have to pre-drill those out. And from the inside, you screw it to the rafter, like so. And then when you're done bringing new wires in from the side, because these will clamp the wires to keep them from moving around. That's the way you're supposed to do it. You install those. And then when you're done putting the junction in there, you just wire nut them together. And then you put the cover on there, and it comes with the screws here. And that's how you're supposed to do it. And so we're going to get busy on that and finish this project up. Okay, we're back upstairs, and we're going to be working on the rest of this ceiling fan install. So I'm going to turn the camera around so you can kind of see what I'm doing, and I'll talk you through it. Okay, so I've cut all the power off, so there's nothing hot up here. Everything is off at the circuit breaker downstairs. So all these wires are not live anymore. So this is where we left off. What I had done in a temporary manner was I hooked an extension cord. I had a cut extension cord, and I just pigtailed it right there, and I just hung it up here temporarily. The reason I hung it is I'd rather those wire nuts where those wires are connected to be in the air, not laying on the ground or anywhere where they could short out. So I'll be taking this bracket down because that was just a temporary fix. Removing this plug, and then I will have to, what I'm doing is I'm splicing in, let me move my light, this wire here, which is we got from the Habitat for Humanity shopping, which is in another video. So I am using that wire, and I will have to pull out this kick plate, run the wire down behind it, across and over to the plug, into that plug box, and then we will run the wires off the back of that plug. So we're piggybacking off of that plug. And I think all of these upstairs outlets are wired together because there's only one circuit breaker that says upstairs plugs. So you got one here, got one over there, and on the other side of the room here, you got one here, and I think that's all there is. Oh, nope, there's one over there on the other kick panel on the other side of the room. And there could be one, yep, well, there's one right there. And there could be one behind the bed here. But that's a lot of plugs to have on one circuit. I wouldn't have wired it that way because all of them have to share 20 amps. But we're not using all those plugs, and nor will we ever use all those plugs, so we'll be okay. The most we'll ever run up here is probably maybe a light or a fan. Like there's a fan here if we're working out. We can plug a fan in. But the ceiling fan has been working great, by the way. Just wanted to give a little review on that. Ceiling fan we installed is right there. And I don't know, it's been awesome. It pushes the warm air down over the living room, which is exactly what we wanted. And I guess we'll get started on this thing here. So that's where we'll be doing most of our work, I believe. So first thing we'll do is we'll start with unplugging. I got a few weights here that are in the way, and we'll move out of the way. I'm going to unplug this. Take this down. I'm going to unplug, unscrew these wires. Oh, I've taped them together. Huh. Okay. Kind of hard up here to see what I'm doing. The light's really bad. Yeah, electrical tape can be kind of tough to break sometimes. Okay, we got all our wires freed up now. Right there. Okay. One thing we're going to have to do here is that raceway. We're going to have to cut this into 2 pieces because the wire is not going to go all the way through it. It doesn't matter too much where we cut it because I'm going to have to splice the wires in. So the raceway, I'm going to size this up, and then I'm going to mount this. I'm going to run the wire through it, and then I need to cut it first. I'm going to cut it first, put that junction box in the middle. The wires will meet at that junction box. So I need to figure all that out probably before I cut this so I know where to cut it. So let me do that. I'm going to have to pull this kick panel off first and run the wire backwards from the plug to my junction box so that I know where to cut this raceway, because I don't want to cut it in the wrong place and then have to splice it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let me see if I can get a better camera angle here. Okay. As I said, there's no power to this plug. So we're going to pull this plug. We're going to, at some point, have to remove this cover, so we might as well go ahead and do that. Okay. And I think we're going to have to remove this too, so that we can pull the plug out and work on it. Okay. So, there was a previous wire on this screw before, when there was a ceiling fan up here that was wired into this plug through that other kick panel to the right. But we're going through this kick panel from the left side. And one wire will be going on this screw, The other wire will be going on the screw on the other side. One is neutral, one is hot. And I'll have to read on this. Usually the brass screw is the one that's hot, but I'll read this plug before I hook them up, make sure I hook them up correctly. But the wire will be feeding in from the back. And then the ground wire, there should be a pigtail in here. It's got ground wires. It'll have to join that grouping of ground wires, and I'll wire nut them together. But nothing in here is hot. Like I said, everything is off. Trying to pull this plug out a little more. You got a lot of wires in here. You got a jumper. So this is a plug in a series because you got other wires in here. So it's not the end of the series because the wires continue to go. So it looks like a wire was ran to this plug and then off of this plug onto the next plug and so on. So now I need to get this kick panel pulled off. This panel is just being held on by a couple of, actually more than a couple, but a few finishing nails, so it'll be real easy to put back on. You just want to do it so you don't damage it. Oh wow, I pulled off easier than I thought. Okay. You can really see in there what's happening. So I'm going to be running the wire down into the back of this box and then wiring it up to the plug. And that's it. So let me get that much done and then I'll get back to you. Okay, here we are. Finishing up this video. So I've ran the wire from up there through this conduit here, and I've cut it, and I've mounted this box to the rafter there, brace. I've wire nutted the wires together where I had to splice them together, and the ground, you can see there, all those wires will get tucked into the box, and then I'll put this cover on them. I pulled this board off, went behind it, had to drill through a brace and this board, ran the wire down behind into this box, pulled everything out of the box, and ran the white screw to the white side, the black screw to the black side. And the ground wire gave me some fits because there's a lot of wires in there. There's a lot going on in there. It's a pretty tight box. It took me a little while to get the ground connected to the other cluster of ground wires that are in there. But I did get that done. And then I put it all together. I didn't think you guys would want to see me struggling with that. So all we got to do here now to finish this project up is put the cover on here, tuck those wires in there. And then I still need to put the brackets on here, which I had to paint. A couple more brackets. They should be dry by now. And that's it. That'll be the completion of the ceiling fan installation.